Guten yardening. We have some containers we need to fill for our fall crop. And so today we're going to show you our standard soil mix. Now the base of our soil is made up of three primary ingredients. The first is an inexpensive natural topsoil. We typically use 5 of the 3/4 cubic feet bags, so just over 4 cubic feet for our topsoil. And then we add a bag which is the 2.2 cubic feet of the peat moss. So we add those two together, so it's a 2-to-1 mixture. And then on top of that, you can probably see it, although it's already sifting down nicely. We add some sand, some all-natural sand. We typically add about a half a bag, so it's maybe 15 to 20 pounds of sand, and that's going to really improve the drainage. One of the other keys here as we get into actually mixing the soil is you're going to see a lot of clumps. We have to get these clumps out, and we have to really work on getting this mixture nice and consistent and even, so there aren't any pockets of just peat moss, topsoil, or sand. And this is going to take just a little bit of time. Now you definitely want to do this when it's not too windy out, because this peat moss will blow everywhere if you can help it. Never hurts to get in there right with your hands and help with the breaking up process of the soil. It's already looking pretty cool, huh? I want to show you what our mix is starting to look like. So this is going to retain water really well, and we're going to add some vermiculite to it here in a bit to again increase the drainage, but also that water retention that we're looking for. Alright, we've been mixing for about 20 minutes, and now we're ready to add the natural vermiculite. And one of the things to remember about soil mixture and gardening in general is that you have to make sure that you're consistent as you're trying out new things. And so part of that means measuring and being consistent with regard to mixtures. So for us, we have a little gallon pot, and we put 5 of those full for a mix of soil this size. And we're lucky it's not a windy day, because this stuff is light and will blow everywhere. So I like to pour it in a little depression in the middle there, cover it up right away, and then start mixing. So we'll mix one at a time. We'll add the second, third, fourth, and so on. We're at the final stages now, and we have this inert mixture that the plants are going to love, but they need their nutrients in order to survive. We use a mixture of a general organic fertilizer, and we supplement that with bone meal, blood meal, azomite for the trace minerals, langbionite, and some Epsom salt and a little bit of garden lime just to get started. I'm not going to give you the specific measurements because I know different fertilizers call for different amounts per square foot, but you can figure that out, I think, on your own. It's the next day. We actually had a huge thunderstorm last night, so we didn't get to finish potting anything. But today we're ready to get some peppers in the ground. So we have our soil mix. Our soil mix looks great. And we have one more ingredient to add, and that is some organic compost. Now, if you have compost that's processing, that you're making yourself and you have it, it's finished, you can go ahead and add that. We bought this compost from a local organic farmer, and we're going to do a 1-to-1 ratio of compost to our mix. And we know from past soil tests that our NPK levels with this mixture are going to be great for the vegetables that we're planting. In this case, we have some peppers that we had to rescue from beside our compost because the plants growing in there, the vegetables, the tomatoes, etc. growing in there were so big and luscious, they were overshadowing these. So we want to save these peppers and get them into this potting soil. I'm going to do a nice mix. Now you can see where the roots are coming out on this pepper plant, and we don't want to mess with the roots too much. We don't give them too much trauma. So we're not going to take any of the soil off of the roots. We're going to plant it directly into this mix. Now I've given it a little divot. You don't need to mound these aren't like tomatoes. Just right in up to the root level. It's important to remember when you're putting this in a container, you don't need to mound it up, but you should have a high enough level of soil because we're not adding soil afterward to this pot. We're going to add some support. We're going to tie this with a string so that it can start to grow in the correct direction. You can see what being shadowed out was doing. But this is just a stick from our tree, our ash tree. You can use whatever you have on hand. If you have tomato cages, if you have bamboo poles, whatever it takes, we'll tie this on and this pepper will start to take off. Loose, nutrient-dense soil is essential for growing in these pots. And so it's important to remember that you need a good NPK balance, and we found this mix works well for us in that situation. We hope you found some inspiration today when it comes to creating your own soil mix. If you have your own mixtures that you like, please let us know about them. What works well for you, both in raised beds, in pots, and just in general. If you like this video, give us a like, leave us a comment, and subscribe. And remember, when you're with us, you're good to grow.